All right, what is up, everyone? I hope I did this correctly. This is Jake back in the booth. Just came back from getting some dinner, but I'm back right now. Alex is helping out some customers, so I think I'm running the show right now. I think I got it all correct. We're gonna hope on it. Um, but on the left side, we got Lincoln on Dimir Frog, and on the right side, we got Chris on Eldrazi Tron. Just a reminder to like all the socials, subscribe on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, like and comment on the video. I'm going to give them a thumbs up just so they know, but I think they're pretty much already off to the races by themselves. So if anything goes wrong with the recording, blame me. Alex should be back here in a second, though. How do I get rid of those dots? I don't remember how to do that. But we just started. Oh, I need to change that to semifinals. I don't know how to change that. Oh well, we'll figure out when Alex comes back. Cool. Looks like I did everything right in the chat, so I can't hear them though, so I really don't know what I need to adjust. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it. All right. Well, I'm gonna give them the go ahead. This should be the semifinals. I don't know how to change that on the thing, but we're getting over the cuts. We'll see what's going on. We got Lincoln. So Dimir Frog versus E-Tron. You got a control matchup for Tron. Usually suffers a bit more in control in comparison to Eldrazi Tron. But Tron, Eldrazi Tron has the advantage of, having more creatures and less spells that control can deal with. So I think there's a little bit more to say the power, like the matchup here in relation to one another. Hey, what's up, Kyle? I did play. I played Death and Taxes. I didn't do particularly well today. I top aided last night, but um, you can't win them all. Had a good time though. I mean, I always enjoy coming in the booth. Amulet's doing pretty well from what I know. It is I mean, it's pretty much as powerful as it has been. I think there's a little more hate. We got Kyle here with a preordain. Look at the top two, says, nope, don't want either one of them, and draws the card. Pass over to Chris, takes a look at his hand. I think we're devouring here right now. Put a bunch of card in exile, put the card I want on top, draws return. I think that's a Tron land, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to start off here with a power plant and pass the turn. Lincoln with a draw. Shakes his head. I think he likes what he drew, so he's going to correct the fetch. Chris got in the deck. Taps 2. Out with the frog. The name of the deck. The little froggy dude. I think Lincoln needs to change his life total from the fetch land. I think Lincoln should be at 17 because I think he fetched and shocked. Probably should have wrote it down, but I'm going to update it on our end. So, look at the graveyard. I think we're going to ship the turn back to Chris. Chris with an untap and a draw. I think everything Chewy seems a little bit too good after the ban. I mean, I played Boros against Boros Energy twice today. That felt very, like, a little, I think it's a little bit too pushed. I think the ring is just a mistake and probably shouldn't exist in the format, if I'm going to be quite honest. Chris is going to play out a Chalice on one, stop any of those cantrips, stop any Thoughtseizes. I think Chris just discarded all his cards to his frog, so we got a 5-power frog here. It's a big guy. Chris gonna draw. Oh, sorry, Lincoln gonna draw. Chris should be down to like 15, I think. No, it's a 5/5 frog. Chris gonna slam out a One Ring here off of an Uggin's Labyrinth. Not gonna draw the card yet, but he's got the protection. I think Lincoln drew a Flooded Strain for turn. Gonna play it out. Just pass the turn. He's got a Murktide out. It's a big old Murktide. Should be an 8/8. Untap. Drew a card off the ring. There we go. We're gonna update some live totals here. Perfect. I was right on the Lincoln life total. I did not miss. I was incorrect on the Chris life total. Lincoln thinking, what am I going to do here? How do I stop Chris? Chris going to tap for 4, play out a card. Nope, a Thought Not Seer. Little TKS going to meet a counterspell. Fortunately, Thought Not Seer is not a cast trigger. It is a ETB trigger. And it looks like Chris is going to... Are we scooping it up here, or... Yeah, it looks like we're going to scoop it up. I'm going to move us back to... How do I get this down? I usually don't run this by myself, so... It's right there. There's OBS. And then we're going to transition back to me for... We want to do sideboard because we're sideboarding right now. Hey, there you go. I know how to do that. Now I don't know how to quite change the quarterfinal. I don't know why if I click on it nothing happens, but I think that's okay. We're trying our best here. But yeah, if you're just checking in this first time, subscribe, like the channels, check out the weekly events. Impact has pretty much just something going on every night. Most events start at 6-7. It's located here in fabulous Fairview Heights, just off the highway, right by, if you know where like the Olive Garden, Crab Shack. It's right next to those. Game together and update aftermath analysis. Is there a chance of buying? I think buying any copies of the One Ring right now is kind of, I mean, if you're planning on playing them, power to you. If you need to buy them, I wouldn't do it because it's probably going to catch a ban here in December. So when you get 4 months to play with them, and it's not like it's a unplayable card. I mean, it's a powerhouse in Commander just as much as it's a powerhouse in Modern. I don't know how much Legacy play it sees. I think it's still too slow for Legacy. I mean, still probably good. I mean, 4 mana to draw like 10 cards over the course of a few turns is, I think, look at this. I think I can change this now. I can't change this. I don't know. can do that. Figure things out here, everyone. Sorry, I'm not a streamer like Alex is. I'm just a guy who enjoys talking about Magic. But we're gonna be finishing up sideboards here. So talk about some sideboards. We saw Lincoln a few matches earlier. He's got Consigned to Memories. He's got Break the Ices, Harbinger of the Seas, Thoughtseize, all great cards in this matchup. Let's move it back on over to the battlefield. There we go. We're going to be starting here with game number 2. Let's find Chris's deck list. Chris King, cool. Let's see. Chris has got 1 Engineer Explosives, a Tormod's Crypt, a Walking Ballista, 2 Hero Mites, a Disruptor Flute, 3 Stone Brains, 1 Worm Coil, 1 Bridge of Khazad-dûm, a Trinisphere, the 1 Ring, 1 Liquid Metal Coating, and a Cityscape Leveler. I mean, it's a Karn board. Like, you're not going to bring a whole bunch of stuff in. Stone Brain seems okay, but Lincoln's going to start off here with a Thoughtseize. We can take a peek at Chris's hand. I believe the card on the right is World Breaker. That is a different art for the card. I don't super know it. But we're going to take the Karn, which is probably the right choice. Whenever you Thoughtseize and you have like a double card in hand, it always makes the Thoughtseize a little rough. I mean, I'm sure Lincoln would probably have taken one of the Chalice of the Voids if he had the opportunity, but, you know, he was not, I mean, there was no point taking it because he didn't have, I mean, there's no point taking that card, that option there when you have 2 of them in hand. Chalice on 1 here for Chris. So we got one of those out. Probably going to see a Chalice on 2 maybe later. Lincoln just going to pass the turn. Probably going to keep up counter magic to deal with whatever he's got going on. I'm messing with the volumes. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't see any of those going up. I don't know why. Oh, whatever. Lincoln with an Orcish Bowmaster. Probably going to shoot Chris with the Bowmasters. Yeah, Chris is down to 19. Gonna go ahead and swing in here with the Bowmasters. Chris down to 17. Ugin's Labyrinth for Chris. Gonna exile that World Breaker. Tapping 1. Well, it's either tapping 3, right? Unless he's no. Oh yeah, he's tapping 4 for what's that dude's name? Sowing Mycospawn. It's 4 mana for a 3/3. When you cast it, you can find a land, put it on the battlefield untapped, and you can pay. You can kick it for a colorless and 1. And if you do that when you cast it, I think you exile a land an opponent controls. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Lincoln down to 17. Pay 3 Harbinger. Oh nope. We're gonna consign to memory that Sowing Mycospawn. I think we're gonna replicate it to counter both the counter the cast trigger and counter the spell. We're talking, Lincoln and I talked about that earlier today, where that's why you replicate, so you can counter the cast trigger and you can counter this spell as well. Got a Judge Call. We're gonna You know, always ask the judge, see what's going on. You know, never a bad choice, but we're going to call the judge over just to double check that you can do that. You know, I mean, you, if you have the option to call the judge, always call the judge. Never a bad choice. Oh, so the question is I cast the consign, and it gets replicated by I can replicate it even though it's gonna get countered by the chalice, which I'm pretty sure you can still do. Chalice on one is like nails on a chalkboard. I agree. Sorry, Twitch chat. I'm doing a bunch of things here, and I'm really bad at keeping up with all of it. Hey, Blorgotron, thanks for the Switch Prime sub. Let's go. Whoa. Don't call judges on me. I don't play wrong. I've never made a mistake before. Yeah, one gets countered. Yeah, looks like we are able to I think we're able to. Yeah, the copy's resolved, but the main spell gets countered. How does the mono black necro deck work? I don't even know anymore since they banned Grief. It's a totally different deck now. I think you're gonna shock out this Watery Grave. Should be at 15 now, and Chris is at 16. We're gonna go Chris with the draw. I think you drew a Tron land for turn. Gonna tap a bunch of mana here. We're gonna play out another Sowing Microspawn. This one should be kicked, so I think we're gonna get both effects here. Take those life totals. Spawn with a Bowmaster. You ping you down to 12. Looks like we are going to exile that Watery Grave. And Chris is going to search up a land. That's a pretty big hit to Lincoln. These Dimir Frog decks, I mean, they play... I don't think they play any just black sources. I think it's all blue and black sources. But unless Lincoln gets a fetch land, he's not going to be able to cast any of the black spells in his hand if he has any. What 3 creatures would you put on your volleyball team? Probably 3 Savage Knuckleblades. That's never a wrong answer. Only right answers here with Savage Knuckleblades. Chris get another Eldrazi Temple here. And we're going to untap here for Lincoln. He's got 2 Bowmasters and the 2/2 Orc Army token. Not sure what Lincoln drew. That was a cool looking card, though. Was that like a... Oh, it's a frog with a sick art with like the big ol' eye on it. That is expensive foil. I love to have 4 of those, but they are quite pricey. But not too great here without having any black mana to be able to cast the frog. You know, that's one of the downsides of playing these decks with super low mana costs. Because we'll just pass on over to Chris. Chris is going to play World Breaker. Probably going to exile one of these here lands. But we're going to counterspell the World Breaker. So We'll get World of Worldbreaker, but we're not gonna. But we're gonna get rid of. We're not gonna be able to get rid of the cast trigger on it, which is exile target artifact, enchantment, or land, I believe. Worldbreaker's nice though, because you can pay 3 mana and sacrifice a land to return it from your graveyard to your hand. So, Worldbreaker, we can see Worldbreaker coming back from the graveyard. Pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, we're gonna look at it and read the bottom text on it. It is a 5/7 with reach though. He's a big guy. He can block a frog all day until the frog becomes an 8/8. And if the frog's an 8/8, you're probably losing the game anyways. Looks like Chris drew another power plant. These Eldrazi Tron decks are weird because, you know, sometimes you get these Tron starts, sometimes you get the Eldrazi land starts. I mean, it's definitely not a true quote-unquote Tron deck. Chalice on 2. See what's gonna happen here. I mean, if Chris Chalice is on 2, nope. I'm gonna. What is that? That is the sickest card I've ever seen. What is that card? Does anyone in the chat know? Is that like a Spell Pierce? Because that art is wild, and if whatever it is, I want to own it. But it's 1 blue. It gets counter. I don't know what that card is. I think he just Chalice checked and said, "Hey, counter it." Okay. Oh wait. Looks like we're gonna sack the Urza's Tower to bring on back the World Breaker on the end step. Looking kind of scary here. I mean, Lincoln's got some dudes out, but Chris has blocked off a lot of what Lincoln can play. There's a World Breaker. Probably going to get rid of another land here. Yep. Lincoln down to 1 land. I think we might be going to a game 3 here. But I don't know. I said that earlier today in the Boros matchup, and boy was I wrong. That game went forever. We're going to crack in here with the Sowing Microspawn. Lincoln with a draw. I don't think he drew a land because he cannot cast almost anything in his hand right now. Tap 3. Do a Chalice on 6. No, we're playing Devourer of Destiny. Exile your Bowmaster. Cracking there with my 2 big old guys. Well, some of my Spawn's not a big guy. He's a 3/3, but World Breaker's quite the large creature. Big old 5/7. Or we're gonna take that. We're gonna take a do a takesy backsies and double block this Sowing Microspawn. Looks like Lincoln's just gonna take that. He was at 12, and now he's down to 7. I've been bad with life totals this game. I'm sorry, everyone. Nope, and I think we're just going to scoop it up here. Let's ship us back here to back to the booth, back to good old me. So yeah, I mean, I think the changes in MH3 with how Tron works really shows how better it is with dealing with control. I mean, Eldrazi Tron was pretty much dead before MH3, and that deck hadn't seen a lot of play since MH1. But now, with the changes of how the format works, Eldrazi gets to play what it wants. I can't figure it out. Now, when I transition this back, it's going to say semifinals. Should I get rid of the little... Alex should be able to join me for the next match, so I'm not going to delete his name. It is just me in the booth right now. Monkey Fury Grief. Monkey's still legal. That card's not even like that good anymore. That card, like... That card is just not what it used to be, which is wild, because that card was the terror of Modern the minute it came out in MH3, but not so much anymore, you know? It is a completely and totally different format. Looks like Chris is doing a little bit more sideboarding, figuring out what he wants to do. Lincoln looks pretty content with whatever he's got going on. I think Impact might have one more RCQ they're doing this season, so if you're interested, definitely check that out. They advertise them about 3 weeks ahead of time, so just keep your eyes out on the Impact Facebook page. Make sure you're liking all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, X, sorry, whatever you want to call it these days. Check them all out. Keep up on YouTube. Usually Alex talks about what's going on almost every single week. I mistyped that. Curse. It's Chris. I am a goofball. I am a goofball. I definitely typed that wrong. So we'll be switching back to the battlefield here. There we go, Chris. Sorry, buddy. Not my fault. It is my fault. But we're here for a good time, not for a long time. Right? CHRIS. You know I'm a certified dyslexic. I got the paperwork to prove it. I'm a purebred. Not anyone who claims they have it. I got tested and proven for it. So I make mistakes. I'm good at them. Always own up to them. We're going to crack a land here for Lincoln down to 19. Fetch out a land. Surveil. Darkslick Shores into a frog. Let's see what Chris has got here. I'm going with another Eldrazi Temple. Into a Kozilek's command. Not K command anymore. The new K command is Kozilek's command. Oh, you might have someone come back here and join us in the booth. Is this one on? Yeah?
Yeah.
We're all good?
Should be good.
Did I mess up on the volume thing?
You're all right.
I don't know what I was doing. I spelled curse for the entire game.
You what?
I had curse as curse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know.
And it took me 3 matches to figure out how to change quarterfinals to semifinals. But, you know, we had a good time. We figured it out.
We got there.
I can transition from the different screens, and to me, that's the most important part.
It's pretty important.
Otherwise, you're not streaming anything. Frog, I think we're cracking here with Frog. We're gonna counterspell this TKS. We already cracked him with the Frog.
All right. Oh, look,
Untap.
we have people.
We did. We got some good old viewers here in the channel. We're going to go here with a Thoughtseize. Look at the hand. 2 Devours, a Karn, a Mycosynth, and a Tron land.
A ring is an investment. Every kiss begins with K.
I bought my ring online. And I bought my 4 One Rings in paper. We're here for a good time. So we are in game 3 right now. I forgot to change the little. Where's that thing at? The wind marker. All right. You know what?
It's just
I'm not good at this anymore. Cool.
all right. There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. We did it.
You get busy up there for a little bit?
Yeah, it's been pretty busy, you know. 2 pre-releases today. We got the RCQ. We got a Shadowverse Evolve pre-release.
What is Shadowverse?
It is a game.
I've never heard of it and probably never going to play it, but I don't know anything about it.
It has a mobile client.
Huh.
That was it was actually a mobile game before it was a paper game.
That's impressive because a lot of those mobile games don't have mechanics that translate well into paper. Like you can never play Hearthstone.
They changed it a bit. So the paper version is called Shadowverse Evolve.
Yeah. And the online client is Shadowverse.
Yeah, so it's a little bit
I'm
different.
going to consign a memory that Devourer of Destiny seems pretty good. Draw off the frog. Frog doing frog things. Chris with the draw. We could play out Karn here. Karn would be pretty good. I think he just gets countered. I think Lincoln has a force negation and I think another consigned memory in hand. We're going to play the Karn. Does Lincoln say this gets to happen? Lincoln says
Not a
no.
shot. Not a shot.
Not in Lincoln's world. Lincoln says, oh, that Karn needs to go to exile. There we go.
Man, not keeping up with life total either. What is this, amateur hour?
You came in the booth. I left it up to you. I am nothing if but an amateur.
All right, there we go. Draw.
In the draw, we got what we drew in Orcish Bowmasters. Lincoln going to pitch the swamp to the frog. Kraken for 3, down to 12. Draw a card. Chris needs something here. Chris needs to land a big old Eldrazi, but there's a Murktide. Chris doesn't. What does he need? Like 1 more mana for Devour? Is that a 7 mana card or 6 mana card?
7.
7. So Chris needs to draw a land. You draw a Chalice.
That is the opposite of a land.
In fact, I don't think it's a land at all. How do you get out of this here, Chris? I feel like you have to have an All's Dust.
Dude, honestly, it might be Lincoln's day. Like he's when he's been on camera today, he has had it all.
He's had everything. I mean, but this Dimir, this is like the same thing that Murktide does, right? Like where like is it Murktide?
Yeah.
Where they kind of always had it because you see about half your deck every game.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously, it's like pretty rough when you're not winning. Like when you're even and ahead, you just can't lose.
But when
if
you're
you
behind,
ever stumble, yeah, that's gonna be it. Lincoln gonna take it. He will go on to the finals here, and we will see who he's playing against. Maybe it'll be Adrian. I forget who Adrian is playing, but
was it Paul or
no, Paul lost. And
I think it's the other person. Someone was on Storm. There's like 2 more. There's some Storm players still.
Chewy Bacon says Team Adrian.
That's a good old.
Yeah, who is that?
Kyle
Who?
Vance.
Oh, I know. I recognize the name.
Kyle Vance.
Well, I know who Kyle Vance is. I'm trying to remember who the screen name is.
Oh, yeah.
Better call Bernello. There you go. But yeah, thank you all so much. We'll be back for the finals. We'll be back for the finals. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, all of the things. Come up here, play some Magic. Alrighty. Until the next round, we'll catch you all on Flippy Flop.
See you.
Adios.